Really? You need to back up to get out of this parking spot? Jesus effing Christ. Let's go. Alright. Parking lot performance on the software is kind of a joke.
People respond to them, and there is obviously an enormous response going on right now, right? These are crowds that would be amazing during an election season that are turning out 4 months, 5 months after an election. That is extraordinary. And I think it goes to the fact that people are, whether oligarchy is the right word or not, people are desperate for someone to make sense of what is happening. This cabal of billionaires have taken over the federal government. They're taking a chainsaw to the Constitution. They're taking a chainsaw to services and benefits that we all depend on. They're doing it to line their own pockets. People want someone to make sense of that story, to tell that story, to scream their heads off like it's an emergency. And that is what you are seeing people respond to when they come up to see Bernie Sanders and AOC.
Do you now think that the Democratic leadership is writ large across the board in the House and the Senate, at least on board with the fact that we are in a crisis?
I do not think that they are clear that we are in a crisis. Now, I think we have seen some promising signs, right? House Democrats rallied together to collectively vote against the funding bill a couple weeks ago. I think what we saw in the Senate is a demonstration of the fact that Minority Leader Schumer and a decent set of Democrats, let's be real, fundamentally don't believe and don't understand the kind of crisis that we are in and are not prepared to act accordingly.
Leah Greenberg, we will talk about this again, and we will continue to talk about it because that's important. Thank you for your time. We will be right back, folks.
You'll love this. Centrum Silver is clinically proven to support memory in older adults. So you can keep saying, you mastered it. You fixed it. You nailed it. You did it. With Centrum Silver, clinically proven to support memory in older adults. Join the more than 7 million adults, like Michael, who've taken Ozempic.
As touring musicians, my type 2 diabetes could have slowed us down, but I didn't let it. I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty, and this is what my Ozempic era looks like. I'm lowering my A1C and lost some weight too. I also learned some people take Ozempic to lower the risk of major cardiovascular events like stroke, heart attack, or death. And others take it to lower the risk of worsening chronic kidney disease.
Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take if you or your family had MTC, MEN2, or if allergic to it. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or a procedure, are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas, gallbladder or severe stomach problems, or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with a sulfonylurea or insulin may raise low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Discover the GLP-1 with the most FDA-approved uses. Ozempic.
Dangerous ladders, gutter muck. Ugh, no wonder you hate cleaning your gutters. Good thing there's leaf filter. Our patented filter technology keeps leaves and debris out of your gutters forever. Guaranteed. Call 833 Leaf Filter to get started and get the permanent gutter solution that ends clogs for good.
They took the time to answer all of our questions. They really put us at ease.
End clogged gutters for good. Call 833 Leaf Filter or visit leaffilter.com today.
Huh. Noom has GLP-1 meds now?
Yes, Noom combines medication with healthy habits so you can lose the weight and keep it off.
Yeah, GLP-1s starting at $149.
That's Noom smart.
Noom, the smart way to lose weight.
Bye-bye, cough.
Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucin XDM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion in any type of cough, day or night. Mucin XDM. It's comeback season.
If you're looking for a Medicare supplement insurance plan that's smart now,
I'm 65.
And really smart later,
I'm 70-ish.
Consider an AARP Medicare supplement insurance plan from United Healthcare. With this type of plan, you'll know up front about how much your care costs, which makes planning your financial future easier. So call United Healthcare today to learn more about the only plans of their kind with the AARP name, and set yourself and your future self up with an AARP Medicare supplement plan from United Healthcare.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. And that got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I'm skeptical. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explained life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it with no future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies, or call 1-800-513-7100. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
There is a lot going on tonight. You've been in these rooms. How are you digesting it? And how do you think the world is digesting what Trump is saying? What are people saying to you in New Jersey about Doge and what they're seeing Musk and his team do here? What are the global politics for some of these leaders? Stating the opposite of what the United States president is stating.
That's all for this hour, folks. I'm Smoke Sanders Townsend. I will see you again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Jen Psaki is next with her special guest, The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg. We have been talking about his story. He published his extraordinary piece today about being accidentally included in a group chat about the military strikes in Yemen just before the bombing began. That starts now.
Okay, I'm going to start tonight with one of the most shocking headlines I have ever seen. Here it is. The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans. That was literally a headline in The Atlantic just this morning. And it was written by the magazine's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg. Because last weekend, Jeffrey Goldberg knew that the U.S. would strike Houthi rebels in Yemen. And he knew that 2 hours before the world did. Because a bunch of senior Trump officials were texting with him without realizing it. And Jeffrey Goldberg is standing by here in studio for his first cable news interview since dropping that complete bombshell of a piece earlier today. There's really no way to do this story and kind of get you up to speed on it, do it justice, I should say, other than to just... So that's what I'm going to do. I've read it about 10 times today. I've highlighted it. I've got lots of notes, all the things. We're going to go through all of it. Now, what Goldberg lays out here is so crazy, so dangerous, so irresponsible. You really have to hear it to believe it. The story starts like this. On Tuesday, March 11th, I received a connection request on Signal from a user identified as Michael Waltz, which, as you all know, is the name of Trump's national security advisor. Now, Goldberg writes, I did think it was somewhat unusual, given the Trump administration's contentious relationship with journalists and Trump's periodic fixation on me specifically. It immediately crossed my mind that someone could be masquerading as Waltz in order to somehow entrap me. It's not at all uncommon these days for nefarious actors to try to induce journalists to share information that could be used against them. That does happen. We're going to talk about that. But the story continues, because then 2 days later, Goldberg got a notification that the Waltz account had added him to a group chat called the Houthi PC Small Group. Now, PC in the national security world typically stands for Principals Committee, which is typically made up of literally the highest ranking national security officials in government. Just to give you kind of a sense of how high ranking the people in the chat were, there was a user named MAR, as in Marco Antonio Rubio, the Secretary of State, and another user named JD Vance. There was also a Scott B from Treasury, I think we know who that is, and a user named Pete Hegseth from the Pentagon. And yet, as Goldberg wrote, I had very strong doubts that this text group was real, because I could not believe that the national security leadership of the United States would communicate on Signal about imminent war plans. I have a hard time believing that too. I think anybody who spent time around national security information and government and reporting on it would too. Because at this level, the discussion about this level of sensitive issues is only supposed to happen on a few different channels, a